Super easy to install. Remove vacuum hose, remove horse collar clip, remove old part, press new part into place, holding it down while you slide the collar back in place. This solved the problem my car had with fuel draining back to tank after sitting a day or so. Symptom was car would take a really long time to start if it had sat a while. Cranking and cranking and cranking, finally pushing enough fuel to the injectors that engine would start. I knew this wasn't good for the fuel pump, which is an expensive part, and a real pain to replace. It's inside the gas tank. On my Audi, there is no schrader valve to easily connect a fuel pressure gauge, so diagnosing such things requires more specialized gauge that has the fitting to allow connecting in line with fuel rail. Since this part was so cheap, I just took the chance and replaced it. Much cheaper than bringing to a shop that has the right equipment to diagnose. It could have been this regulator, or the injectors, or even just one injector, or the fuel pump. I knew the injectors were fairly new, so this was the most likely culprit, and cheapest. If you have a VW or Audi with a Symptom, it may be easier to just replace this part first, since it's so cheap and easy to replace. Then if issue still persists, bring it someplace that has the equipment to measure fuel pressure, so they can isolate if it's injectors or not. Another trick you can do is remove each injector, plug them back into their harness, and point each one into an empty clear plastic water bottle. Then turn on ignition, so they all try to squirt, then shut off key. Now see if any of the injectors are dribbling fuel. That is the faulty one. Replace or send out to be cleaned. If none are leaking, issue is someplace else. Purchased this Volvo Pina 5.7 engine. The OEM part was over $200 at the boat shop. This unit was identical for a fraction of the money. As I started tuning my S4, I came to realize someone had put a 3-bar FPR in it, so I wanted a 4-bar OEM reg ASAP and found this one. OEM Bosch, perfect. Works like it should. Had to use a C-clamp and a block of wood to compress it into the fuel rail. Perfect OEM replacement regulator for VW Passat and others requiring 4-bar pressure. Also works as slight pressure / flow enhancement for 8-bar fuel rail C. G. 986 Porsche Boxster. It is generally challenging to fit, requires significant force to compress sufficiently to get the retaining clip to fit properly. Consider purchasing a new retaining clip at the same time. This is exactly like the Bosch that came off of my '99 Passat 1.8T. My old one wasn't bad yet, but I figured that after 150,000 miles I would go ahead and replace it. If you are replacing the vac line that goes to it with thicker fuel line and using a small screw type hose clamp, you will need to slightly bend up the barbed fitting on the regulator. It will bend okay for the 1/8 inch or so that you will need to fit the hose clamp and line. Use on my 5.7-liter Volvo Penta motor works perfect. Volvo Penta costs $200, Bosch price $32, and it's made in Germany, not China. The price on this was amazing. I must have saved over $100 by purchasing it here instead of at a local shop. It fit my 95 GTI VR6 perfectly. I checked the pressure after the install and it was per VW's spec. Breeze to install. I kept the original retainer clip. Be sure to depressurize your fuel system before removing the old one and wear safety glasses. Easy stuff. Click link in description for more reviews.